Welcome back, chemistry fans. Today, what we're going to do is something called a dilution. And we're going to use a special piece of equipment that's used a lot in the professional laboratories, although ours is a little bit older. They use digital versions of it, but still holds the principle true. So what we're going to do is, let me change the camera down, is we're going to make a solution of sugar. Sugar and water. So I'm not going to use very much of the sugar, but we are going to start with some specific amount. So we need to know so that we can make our molarity concentration. So I'm going to put my weighing boat, whoa, let's do this. Let's try this. So I'm going to put my weighing boat on here, and it weighs something. So I'm going to tear that so we're not weighing it. And I don't need very much. I don't need a whole lot. So I'm just going to put in less than a gram, somewhere there. So I just used 0.67 grams of sugar. So my mass is equal to 0.67 grams of C12H22O11. Where are you writing that down? So I'm going to write that down right now so I know how much sugar I have. And it's this right here. So now what I can do is I can convert that into moles. So I can divide this by the weight of sugar, which I believe is 342. 12 times 12 plus 11 plus 22 rather, plus 11 times 16 is 342. So 342 is our weight. So 0.67 divided by 342, and that gives me 0.00199596 moles. All right, so that's off the screen. So that's how many moles I have. Now, how many liters I have, well, that's kind of up to me also. I've got to design my own. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to show you the side view. You don't get sick from me spinning the camera here. And so now I've got my work surface here. I'm going to move my map away, and I'm going to my work away, and I'm going to put into my first test tube. I'm going to put those 0.67 grams of sugar, and I'm now going to use a different device here. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to add, because it's not fun to work with just sugar. So I'm going to add a little bit of food coloring to it so that as we're doing this process, we can see the dilutions happening. So what I've got now is something called a pipette pump. And this pipette pump is this green device here generally. They're usually some other color. And it's got a wheel on it. And as I roll that up, it causes suction down on the bottom of this tube. So it's all of this together is hooked together. So these are two pieces, and I put them together, and I can create suction. And then if I push this button here, it will squirt it out. So let me show you. So as I am now with my pump, I am going to, let me back it up even further. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to squirt it out. So I'm going to roll up, and what you will see, hopefully, is that the liquid is starting to rise as I roll it up. And so I went way beyond where my zero line is. So here's my zero line. So now I have 10 milliliters into my pipette. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver all 10 milliliters into it, and I can just do that by simply pushing my little trigger here. So as I do that, it's adding down to this pump. And so I have created now a solution of sugar that has 10 milliliters. So I can swirl this around, get it to dissolve, and it makes a nice, pretty green sugar solution. Because I didn't use too much, it should stay pretty well dissolved. There shouldn't be a whole lot that stays on the bottom down here. Yeah, so we're pretty clean down there. There's a little bit, but for the most part, we've got it dissolved. And if I kept shaking it here, we eventually would get that all dissolved down there at the bottom pretty well. So as the time rolls on. But let me go back now to my work, and let me show you what our original molarity is. So let me transition here. So I have 10 milliliters. My volume is equal to 10 milliliters. That is equal to 0.01. Because if you take milliliters and you divide it by 1,000, you will turn it into liters. Okay, so now I have my moles and I have my liters. So now I can create what is my molarity. So again, go back to the calculator, 0.00196 divided by 0.01, and you get 0.196 molarity. So that's my stock solution. That's where I start. That's how much my molarity is of this green that we have down here, which now it looks like almost all of the sugar has completely dissolved as we've made that calculation. Okay, so what we need to now do is we are going to create a dilution. So what I'm going to do is, according to some recipes that I have stated to the students, we're going to take out a certain amount. So I'm going to take out, in this one, I'm going to pull out 1 milliliter. So as I have pulled back my wheel, again, I'm going to suck all this up and I'm going to get it all the way up to 10, as close as 10 as we can. Yeah, it's pretty close. It didn't quite get it all. Let's see if we can suck it up this time. Pretty doggone close. All right, so I am now going to deliver 1 milliliter to a second container. And so how I do that, again, because I want to be accurate, I don't want to shoot it in there. I just want to roll it down into it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to roll that down and it will deliver 1 milliliter of the solution. I'm going to put the rest of it back where I got it from. So I've got 1 milliliter of this new solution. And then I'm going to fill the rest of it up now with 9 milliliters of the other. So I'm going to roll up. So I'm going to suck up 9 milliliters here. And I'm going to squirt in 1. So now I'm down to 9 milliliters. I'm going to add that to it and deliver that to this second container. And we should notice, well, it's a little bit more dilute. And that's a good thing because we just diluted it. And now the second time, to make things a little bit more interesting, I'm going to suck up 3 milliliters this time of this. I swirl it around, make sure it's there. So now I'm going to suck up 3 milliliters. So 1, I suck up it all the way up to the top. Good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 10 milliliters and I'm going to deliver 3. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. Good. The rest of that, I can go back into the original container. And now what I'm going to do for this final one is I'm going to add 7 milliliters. So I'm going to suck up 7 milliliters of water into this. And I'm going to deliver that right into my third container. And we should see that, oh yeah, we've got a stratification of the colors. And that's the ultimate goal here, is that you would be able to see the difference between all the 3 colors. You can see darker, medium, and light, hopefully. And what you then need to do with this is we're going to have to calculate. And so the calculation comes in where I am going to take M1V1 equals M2V2. So I know my original molarity, 0.00196. I know my original volume was 0.01. My new molarity, I don't know, but I do know that I only used, let's see, so what am I going to do? Hold on. So what I'm going to have to do is calculate my new molarity of that solution. And then the V2 would be, I only used, well, let's see here. Where are we at? So let's try this again with a molarity. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take the how many milliliters So this is my molarity originally of the stock solution. How many milliliters did we use of that original stock solution? And then over here, this is how much the final volume is. And so we always get that up to 10 milliliters. This is what we're looking for. That's the second of them. So if we solve this, we're going to find out that my second molarity was 0.000196. And that's in comparison to my original volume. So it went all the way down to this. So the molarity went way, way down. Well, now the second time I used 3 milliliters. So my V2 would be 0.003, but my original is now not 0.00, it's 0.000196. We're looking for that final volume. And how much of it did we use in, or how much, what did we end up with? Again, we filled it up to 10 milliliters. All right, so here we go. The final calculations on this one, 0.003 times 0.000196 divided by 0.01. And my final volume, or my final molarity is 0.0000588. Very, very, very weak and dilute. All right, so that is everything that I need from you to do a dilution solution. I'm hopeful that you're starting to understand the process a little bit. Oh, again, with the wrong camera. So thank you very much for staying with me, and talk to you again soon. Goodbye.